All right, and to bring you closer to the story, we're joined in our Johannesburg studios by resident geo-economic analyst, Mr. William Gumede. It's always a pleasure to see you here, sir. Now, what is the condition of Africa's small island developing states in the so-called blue economy? And what is blue economy, really?
I mean, there's some very good examples of very good economies in Africa, island economies. I mean, for me, really, the prime economy is most probably Mauritius. I mean, it's getting everything right. It's getting the economic growth, and it's been getting economic growth consistently, over the last decades, which is exceptional success story. But it's also getting the democracy right. And maybe, I think most probably the most important thing that it's getting right, as a country, it is getting right, it's been able to diversify its economy, using from agriculture to fisheries to IT.
Just how important is fisheries, and maybe you can go into what the potential really is of the blue economy sector on the continent at large, and how best it can be harnessed?
The fisheries was often underestimated in the African economy, but yet, we've got almost a quarter of Africans living, from fish. So it's a very, very crucial, but yet we are not making it part of a broader economic development, because two things that we're getting in Africa, that we're using fish for. First, is just the protein, it's just our livelihood, people get their nutrients out of it. But secondly, also as an industry, people's livelihood, people, there's jobs in it, there's profit in it. But, fishery for Africa is also very fragile, because, it's not unlimited. And increasing with climate change, we're getting less and less fish. So, less and less people can feed off fish. And we also get, less and less income from selling our fish. And of course, we're also getting other countries now, new emerging markets, they're fishing around our waters and they're taking our fish away also.
Now, according to the UN Economic Commission for Africa, Nigeria has been the best performing country in sub-Saharan Africa in the field of aquaculture. What is it exactly that they're doing right, and what can we learn from it?
Aquaculture is really, again, it's a sector in Africa that really has massive growth potential, but it hasn't been harvested. I mean, and now what Nigeria has done and what Egypt has done, and Egypt has been doing it, over some time, is putting in the political world, actually making, aqua farming, a priority area. So many other African countries are not doing it. So, there's real potential, because if you look, for example, in East Asia, now aqua farming really is, when you actually harvest fish in a controlled conditions, for example, in a little pond, and so on. Now, East Asia, the countries in Asia has really used that, as a big economic growth sector. In Africa, we've underestimated it. We really haven't, focused on that as a potential sector. Now, recently, some African countries have actually started to put money into it. Nigeria, Kenya has done it, Ghana has done it, and the front, the leader really in Africa, for aqua farming has been Egypt.
Are those in the farming industry starting to be acquainted with this aqua farming? I mean, it's a new term to most.
Yeah. Often in Africa, people in the aqua farming has often been, your poorer, let's call it, farmers. They've been involved in that. But what we need to do is we need actually, to make it bigger. So what we need to do, we either need to bring in the sort of, people who've been, let's say, harvesting fish in little ponds, but, getting people together to almost as collectives, as clusters. And secondly, also to start to create new markets, to either to grow fish for export outside, to other countries, Asia, Europe, and so on, or for other markets in Africa.
What do you call those people, fishermen or farmers?
Yeah, aqua farmers, fisher farmers.
All right, Mr. Gumede, always a pleasure to have you here with us. Thanks indeed. That's William Gumede, our resident geo-economic analyst.